This segment of the Horse Industry Hype Podcast is brought to you by Real Cow Training Systems.
Real horses trained by real cow.
Here she is. About if Colt's face was on a billboard,
What
would be the slogan beside it?
Welcome to my kingdom.
Wow.
Eat more beef. Sexy. Let's talk about the time that Gavin worked for you.
Oh, God.
All I'm gonna say is, I'm glad Cooper Clark was there to wake him up on time.
We had a good time.
We did. It was great. I mean,
You had a good time. Chet had a stressful time.
yeah.
We had a lot of good times.
At that time, Chet was a little stressed out all the time.
That's the year you sold the Woody mare.
Yeah, that was the year. That was the year Brecklin was born out here on.
What you say? I gotta go see my picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, the start of that was Cooper Clark, which is sitting over there, and Gavin Callahan both were working for me at that maturity. It was
Pretty good crew.
It was a very good crew. That was when we had Brecklin. That was the year that we made a little money.
Had a little cash to spend.
Yeah, I had a little bit, and we made a little money and had my first child, and had Cooper and Gavin there. And man, I tell you what, they're a lot sometimes.
No,
and they're a lot just because.
How old's Gavin?
And just because they're really, I mean, they got a lot of personality, and they kept the mood light. But Cooper was always on time for work, but
A little late.
I don't know about Gavin. All I'm gonna say, Coop was his saving grace, but it was a great year. Like I say, it was a great year. I had my little girl. So the story behind it, when we had her, me, Gavin, and Coop was going to the store, and we was at Target, and I was supposed to stay the night at the hospital because Blakely, we were just going in for a checkup, and they were going to run some, I don't know what you call it, but they were going to run some tests on her. So me, Coop, and Gavin, they're like, man, we got to go to Target. We got to get some stuff. So I'm like, okay.
If I had to go get their clothes, they didn't have to clean clothes at the time.
We get some T-shirts.
That is
So
all the time.
I'm supposed to be headed to the hospital, and I'm sitting in the truck. Never forget. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I called Coop, and I said, Coop, we got to go right now. He goes, man, I'm just checking out. I got a toothbrush. I said, just drop it and let's go. Yeah. I was like, man, I'm about to have my baby because Miss Jane called me. She goes, I don't know where you at, but you better hurry the hell up.
That's when you knew you better hurry up.
Man, we were speeding, jumping train track. Blakely, she wasn't doing good, but man, it all turned out great.
Me and Coop was getting Biggie and Tupac T-shirts.
So did Coop ever get to brush his teeth?
I hope so. I wasn't there to hold. I let them have my truck. They just dropped me off at the front door, and I went running through the hospital.
Did y'all get the Biggie and Tupac T-shirts?
Yeah, I had it for a long time. Mine said Poetic Justice.
Oh, got it?
I remember Cooper held up his shirt, and he's like, you like this pocket tee?
But it was good, man. It was good.
So Cooper would have been how old then?
I don't know.
No.
No.
I was 15.
You were?
Shout out child labor laws.
Cash money payments.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, he told me he was 18, so I don't.
Yeah. Another story that I believe got brought up during the women's interview deal. 2015, I believe it was, when Colt and Gavin got at the Augusta fraternity.
Sorry.
But what's ironic about that is exactly 10 years later, Gavin wins the Augusta fraternity on the horse that Colt trained.
Sorry about that, too.
This is true. This
But
did
them
happen.
two in the corner, right? Y'all were both helping them?
Yep.
Had Chester and John.
Yeah.
I was watching from my Airbnb. It was a snowstorm there in Texas. I was watching. I was cheering.
It happened. True.
So, you guys, like, everybody but Colt now, which Colt grew up there, but it's always been a stigma that this is harder to do if you're not in Texas, and everybody's got to be in Texas for this. And back in the day, I feel like it was a lot more prevalent than what it is now. But do you guys feel like there's some advantages or disadvantages of being east of the Mississippi?
Well, I feel like you can access the show a lot,
Distance.
Faster here?
Yeah, I mean, the
Distance is a
distance,
big
The
one.
miles are way
the miles, and then having to stay and having to put your help up, and
Yeah.
having to rent stalls and all the extra little knick-knack things, I think is what makes it a little tougher, for me, on my point of view. I feel like that's what makes the difference. You can't just jump in your truck and like, man, we're going to go show a few today.
Yeah.
You got to have a plan. You got to leave on Thursday night,
Mm-hmm.
get there Friday. Hopefully your horse is good Friday and Saturday so you can get home Sunday and actually have a chill day.
Most of the
So you-
time, I just end up staying Sunday.
Yeah. So you can go back. So you're not working 14 days straight to go to the next show. You know what I mean? And maybe have a little down day or something, So, but I mean, I don't know. I haven't lived in both spots. I've just been in Alabama. And so I don't know. Those guys might have different opinions.
Yeah. What do you think, Kat?
I'd agree. I mean, I'd say the distance between shows is the biggest thing for us. I mean, we have some weekend shows, and they'll have a couple aged events a year, like the Southern Fraternities in Jackson. It's 4 hours, and that's a close show for us.
Yeah.
That's a easy drive. I mean, we don't have a show within a couple hundred miles, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's at least 3 hours away.
It's two for me. And
Yeah.
yeah, man, I love the Jackson show.
Yeah, it's a good 11 hours
Yeah.
out here from our house.
Yeah.
I would say that's the biggest part of it. I wouldn't move.
Exactly. That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Would you ever leave?
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
No, I'm just used to it. I mean, my granddad started training horses in Alabama. My whole family lives in Alabama. My dad's been there. I mean, it's just home at this point. We're in the middle of building a house right now, and I don't plan on ever moving.
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, definitely can touch on the drives.
How far
Augusta
drive is it for y'all?
it's like it may take you 18, it may take you 20 plus, maybe depends on what's going on. But yeah, like I think the most difficult things, like if you're in Augusta, which is my closest age event, it's 7 hours, and then you go, okay, the Ike's coming up in 4 or 5 days. Am I going to drive 7 hours back to North Carolina and then drive however far it is to Monroe? Or so normally you just end up laying over a lot after shows and then getting to shows. You're always the first one at the show, which is kind of nice. You're there. Usually me and Kenny Platt are there always a couple days early, and we're flagging together. So
Good thing you got this real cow too. You know what I mean?
sponsored by Real Cow. Yeah, I take this thing with me, work it anywhere. But yeah, I think that's. But yeah, I think the thing is always been said, like if you want to do this, you got to be in Texas. I remember when I was getting my job, Mr. Kevin was like, "Well, why wouldn't you just move to Texas?" I was like, 'Cause ever since I was a little kid, I've always wanted to I want to be competitive, aged event, horse trainer in the East Coast, like in North and South Carolina, like that. That was my goal because I felt like there was a calling for it there. So, yeah, I think there is a sense of, I won't say pride, but a sense of, proud of where you're from. You take pride in where you're from, and so yeah, I love living in the Carolinas.
And just like Kevin and Amy, I mean, they live in North Carolina. Yeah, I would say one of the pros is there's a lot of customers that don't live in Texas.
Yeah.
That it's a lot
Sure.
closer to come see their horses in Alabama if they live in Florida or Georgia or something. So I think they need to be
Anywhere
spread
on the
out.
East Coast, Tennessee,
Yeah.
Alabama. Maybe they want to find somebody that's out there on our side. And I mean, I feel like all the shows are starting to move out here. With the Ike's getting moved.
It's going to be tough, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot more driving.
Got to be part truck.
I feel like I'm full-time truck driver this year. But, so, I mean, you're in Blue Ridge, so what's it, hour and a half? Depending on how traffic is.
The way this traffic
Dallas
is,
traffic.
the way the drive is, sometimes it's an hour and 15, sometimes it's 3 hours and 15. Like it's seriously like that. Yeah, no, it's nice. It really is. Even though it's loud over there, like, I've lived in Weatherford, Granbury, which it was unbelievable. I love Granbury. But it is nice kind of being over there by myself a little bit. Like it almost feels like not, I always miss back home. Like going to the Southern, it felt just like home, like being around the people I grew up around, just seeing same people that been there since I was little doing the same things really. But it's cool. Even the people that work there at Jackson, like it, you remember all that, like you miss that.
All those inmates.
Yeah.
Remember the inmates?
You just remember people. You grow up around them, really. People, everybody that says Jackson's scary, you ask me and Cade, we're not that scared when we get to
No.
Jackson. We love it.
Absolutely.
I
They're
mean,
probably
it-
not going to steal your bits and bobs.
like,
that.
Austin
it's
always
stolen.
said, Austin always says there's more stuff stolen here that we care about than there, really. But like, I like being over there in Blue Ridge, and it's close and like real close to a weekend show because they have one at the place.
You
And
just walk out your door.
I just walk out my
Yeah.
door. Sometimes it's a hindrance because
Yeah.
you're like, I would like to get away. Then, like one time this year, Brady called me, hey, can you come settle these cows? And I'm like,
I'm laid up.
yeah, I'm done for the day. I'm laid up.
My shoes on.
I'm in my slippers. Okay. and you're like, yeah, well, you're not going to say no. So you go out there and then you end up helping the whole class, which is fine. You love doing it, whatever. But there's, it's pretty awesome to live there because this year going out on my own, getting a lot of new horses, people are like, hauling, you're a customer. You don't like paying hauling.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, I'm going to send this horse to Colt. He can run over there and walk down from the barn, go show this horse. And, there's a lot of customers do that. And it was good for me, kind of very good for my business. And yeah, it's awesome. But I do miss home quite a bit still. It don't matter how good you do or, how many friends you do have. And we see each other all the time. I think if Gavin didn't come spend basically half the year with me in Blue Ridge, I would have really went crazy because it's a lot. Like before I worked with Cooper and then Gavin and Brandon Westfall, and I seen them all the time. Like, being excluded, it's like being back home a little bit. You know what I mean?
Do you guys feel like that's a little bit of an advantage, being as far away as you can go get away? You can just kind of work horses by yourself a little bit, get a little
Yeah.
released. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, man, when I come to the shows, I feel like I get sharper. I can talk to my friends that aren't around. I mean,
Yeah.
for me, we live in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
I mean, we do. I've got Arlen Canas. He lives 20, 30 minutes up the road. But I think the other close trainer is Cade and Austin. And hell, I still struggle to get down there. We talked about it all year. I said,
Yeah.
I'm coming. And then just life happened. Got another kid. We've been out here since a week before the bash.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And so
All you guys
Yeah.
got brand new ones running around.
So I never even made it down to
The youth class, except for Colt that we know of.
Only kid I got is Cooper.
Oh,
Take him under my wing. Little Coop.
That youth class is going to be out there for you.
Cooper's out of the youth.
I remember
Cooper's actually probably still be in the youth, but he's too busy winning the maturity. He could have. I'm pretty sure. He could have hauled. He could have hauled, but he's winning like the maturity over here 2 times. Same day.
I remember when Gavin and McCall got married, and they moved to our place, and we went to the first show, and I mean, it's just like it's a party. Like we don't get to see anybody, so when we get there, we cook out, and I mean, it's a big time. And she's like, we don't do a whole lot of this, I remember coming to the bash the first year, and it'd be like, once it got dark outside, I was walking around the parking lot looking for somebody who was hanging out. Nobody was there.
It took me a while to get used to too, and now I'm like, people want to hang out. I'm like, you know what time it is?
You're looking for them slippers.
Yeah, I'm looking for them slippers. I'm trying to get in that camper. I'm trying to get in that house.
Guess you ain't got no choice because everybody who shows in the East Coast, I mean, they got to drive in.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody's
I
camping
miss
out.
that.
Yeah.
I miss
Everybody's
that.
hanging out.
But I definitely think there's some benefits from both sides. But I don't think I can remember growing up or being younger and saying, oh man, we can't go to Fort Worth and get anything done because we're from the East Coast, and I think that was just a stigma.
I thought just the opposite when I was. I mean, but you guys know me, but Cade too. Like when we were younger, like it was a stigma, and kids were kids, and they'd say stuff, and it's like, okay, cool, but it didn't affect any of us. Like you know what I mean? Like, but kids were, it was a stigma, yeah. But
for sure.
But Cade, I mean, like Cade's from Alabama and youngest Pro Hall of Famer and youth, and hauled from the youth. Really, more world champion in the youth came from the Southeast or somewhere else than Texas, I think.
This past year, BA, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, BA.
Shout out
Had
to
them green chips, so
Yeah.
smile.
So
It is cool though. It is cool to live in your own. Like it is cool to. Like I remember I worked for Colt, and like I go to Walmart. I'm gonna see somebody I know, or I'm gonna go sit down at Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna walk in I know. But now, like you just get away and you just get to be with your family, and go to the beach if you want or something. I know you guys just got a condo on the beach. Like when I was staying in Alabama, we just went and hung out at the condo. Like there's things like that.
How far from the beach?
Yeah, we can be to Orange Beach in 30 minutes or Florida line.
No, it's 25 something.
sometimes I'll go out to dinner
Y'all got a beach?
after a long day
got a
or
beach in
something. I'll go to the beach.
They come down to the
Still got that time.
30 minutes from the house.
But we go out on the river and they got a little sandbar.
Yeah.
During the summer. I mean, we try to make. We go hunt and stuff. And
Yeah.
go to the beach. I think we always go to the beach about 4th of July every year.
I agree there. I don't think it's something that I really looked at from being from the East Coast, but I thought it was. I hauled in the open 2 or 3 years ago on Countess Katrina, and it was a really cool thing for me. And I don't nobody else ever knew about it, but I did. I won one check west of the Mississippi, and I was able to make top 15.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I hauled this year myself, and I've always heard, you better go to Texas, better go to Blue Ridge, and so I went and I got $186 from Blue Ridge, and still made it. So
Yeah.
it can be done. You gotta love that truck seat.
Mhm.
It can.
But then, like, another thing to speak of is like Cade came in here at World Finals and did the thing, like, did good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's another thing. Like, obviously, it didn't affect him very much.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it can be done anywhere. I cut in
Yeah.
Ocala, Florida, a lot.
Yeah.
And if I was down there, Mr. Gary was helping me more. I mean, that's just, I think, I don't think it's a thing, but it's nice to see that it can. I mean, I think my dad's proved that a good bit, that it can be done from anywhere.
Yeah.
I watched him clean house in Gaffney, South Carolina.
Exactly. People in the world doing that.
Yeah. Don't let it get. The thing is nobody needs to let it get in their head and just work really hard and come here with a good trained horse, and they can do anything they want.
Exactly right.
I like that. Well, training horses at home, you guys' wives help you?
For the first year I went out on my own, which was just last year, McCall helped me, and I'm already confused about what's going on. And then your wife's on a turnback horse, and then your marriage gets rocky. And so-
And your wife, and your wife's like,
my wife knows what's going on.
yeah, she's Paul Hansman's daughter.
Yeah.
That's like,
She knows what's going on. So,
you feel like she's judging you.
probably needed it. I probably needed to be judged. I probably needed it. I remember I'd buy her a horse or something, and like she had a show horse, and I'd been working it or something. She gets on it and she just starts
Working it.
kicking it in the shoulders and flogging it, and I'm like, whoa.
It got really good. It got good.
And then it got good. But
Sell it.
yeah, and then I'd sell it. And so yeah, good partnership right there. But no, not since this year. This year she's pregnant and stuff, and didn't come to the barn much.
Word.
But I like it like that though. I don't want it to where she has to come to the barn. Like I like it to where, I've got some really good help. I'm fortunate enough to have some really good help, so McCall can take care of whatever she needs to and whatever she needs to do that day, and just hang out there, and then I can go to work. That way I can keep my work life and my marriage life separate. I don't mind if she comes to the barn. I like it when she does, but I like being able to have the option. It's not like a forced thing,
Yeah.
come to the barn and help, and I like it like that.
You guys have that, or
I do.
I've watched Colt and Jesse turn back this week, so I'm anxious to see
Well-
how he's gonna answer this.
Well, yeah, no, so I come from when I worked for Russ turned back when I turned back for Russ, and that was perfect. And then out of Dawn's, Cooper turned back for me most of the time, so I was pretty spoiled, really, because I feel like Russ or Cooper could read my mind, right? If I was doing something, they could put the cow. It seemed like in the right spot every time. Jesse's probably doing the same thing, but again, when you go out on your own the first year, for one, you kind of forced into it a little bit because you don't have the money to go hire, the Cooper Clark to come help you and keep you, or anybody that kind of knows what they're doing. So your wife knows, like my wife knows, she's handy. I mean, like real handy. And so yeah, there's like tough times where you're like, shit, but it's probably the thing you're doing, working the horse, or the way the cows are being. It's nothing changes. You know what I mean? And then there's been times this year where I've been like, all right, let them turn back. And then I'm like, please get back on the turn back horse. Hey, baby, please. I'm sorry. So, and that'll happen like once every 3 months where I'm like, I just let them turn back. It's fine. And then you realize, damn, she's good. Yeah. Like so, and really we've done very well, like her doing it, but we do argue and we do whatever. But at the end of the day, when she's saying something, she's probably right about most of it because she sees and she knows, and she's helped me. I've had one of the most successful years I've ever had, and it's my first year out on my own, and I credit that a lot to her. I worry about training horses and doing stuff, but behind the scenes, I mean, she's a hard worker.
Extremely.
I mean, Gavin's told me like, like, hey, you need to like let her chill. So we got off the phone one
Let that
time.
girl off the clock.
Okay, so one time I'm like, hey, why don't you stay in the house today? And it lasted about one day. She's like, I want salad. And the next thing I know, she's out there on a horse and she's turning back, and she's one of them people that, or she's just pretty amazing, really.
She's on top of it.
I wonder about her eyesight.
Well,
Other than that,
yes. I don't know what she sees.
Vision was a little blurry.
It wasn't money or looks,
how
but
did you do that, Colt?
maybe I'm just funny. I don't know. I got a good personality. But yeah, she's pretty amazing. Yeah. But it is tough, and especially when the first year you go out on your own. But she turns back for all my priorities. She does all that. Like it's hard, but maybe one day she won't. But at this point, she ain't letting go anytime soon. And I'm kind of glad she's not, because it's been good for us and it works for us.
Yeah. Cade, how's Cam? I mean, she was raised, her dad was a horse trainer.
Yeah.
And so, does that, when you go out looking for a wife and they're a young trainer, like, is that what you look for? Somebody that already knows what they're doing?
No, not really. But it definitely helps. I mean, she knows. I'm lucky enough that me and my dad work together every day, so she doesn't have to turn back for me a whole lot. I mean, just like any husband and wife, there's been plenty of tense times, but we, like Colt was saying with him and Russ, I mean, I turn back for Dad, he turns back for me, so that's kind of covered. But as far as getting the horses ready, I mean, it's been a big change this year since she's been pregnant.
Yeah.
And now we got a baby that she doesn't get. I mean, there's been years that she's gotten me and Dad's, all four of our open horses ready for the futurity. And I would say Dad would say the same. It's a big change, because he would agree that we would want her getting every horse ready that we're showing.
Yeah.
I mean, she just knows how we like them. She knows how to take care of them. She takes care of all of it. I mean, she always ends up on Dad's horses more than mine. But I think he knows. And yeah, it's been kind of tough, but we've kind of gotten used to it. And like Colt was saying, giving Jency time to, step away. Like, it's not their job just because it's ours. They don't have to do it. But she's the same way. She loves it. She wants to ride as much as she can. She can't wait to start showing again and start loping. But it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's been good.
Chet? Careful what you say here.
Man, look, my wife's my biggest critic. I mean, she's great. She really is. I mean, like, she'll give me some shit sometimes, but like Colt said, I mean, everything she said is true. I mean, like, look, she grew up showing horses.
Sometimes we just don't want to hear it.
I don't want to hear it. I'd
Yeah.
rather hear it.
I gotta cool off a little bit.
I really don't.
Yeah, just wait just a second.
Give me a second.
Look, man, yeah, I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear it half the time. I mean, we're men. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to hear it. I'd rather hear it from anybody at this table, and she tells me all the time. You'd rather hear it from somebody else, but I'm telling you the truth, and she's right.
Yeah.
And you know what? She's my biggest critic, but she's helped me more than anybody ever could. I mean, like, she knows how to get horses ready. She can show. She can work them. She can rope. She can do whatever you want. Her and her sister. You know, she can do whatever you want as good as any other man can on the back of a horse. And, you know, and that's just her. She's outgoing. She's always looking for, she rather do for somebody else than do for herself. And she don't like to lollygag around. She wants to
move.
She wants to get it done.
Yeah.
And me, I'm like, all right, we're gonna work these horses, you know. Some days, you know, but
Do you help her in the show pen?
Yeah.
How's that?
I sit on the other corner and Kate sits
He
on.
made me get in the corner that she walks in on,
Yeah.
so we can talk about it. Chet's like, I'm going over there.
I remember one time, and there was this trainer that turns back for her all the time. Man, I get so intense, and I want her to do so good. I mean, like, I'm over here trying to coach her, but she really don't need no coaching. I just need to just sit over there and be quiet.
But you're man, you know.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, let's go, you know? And so one time I was told that I just need to sit in the corner and be quiet.
Sean Flynn.
Sean Flynn. Mike.
He don't say much, but when he does,
But listen,
Yeah.
Yeah, you better listen.
He's one of
He
the
sure
best.
does.
And he said, I know you want to come out here and try to put these cows up and do good. I know you worked up. He's like, but just sit down there and calm down. You just having the cows ready. And that day, we was in West Monroe, was at a show, and I dang near messed her run up. Like, I knew it. And when I walked out, he looked at me, and he knew it, and I knew it, and I was like, shit. You know, but it didn't mess up, but like this close.
yeah.
This trying to get out there and try to get these cows gathered up and try to help her and do as much as you can and try to win. And next thing you know, you're running cows across the pen where she already got a cow cut. You know what I mean? So
I'd say everybody sitting at this table gets more nervous and wound up when
No
the wife
doubt.
shows.
Yeah.
Than when we show ourselves.
I mean,
I do.
that's what's great about this sport too. I mean, there's guys that's been doing it forever, like Sean. I mean, like, he didn't have to say nothing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he could have just kept letting me mess it up,
Yeah.
you know, but he was like, hey, I got it. Let me do my job. You do your, and it was great. I mean, it's one of the biggest lessons I ever learned. And I tell that story all the time. I laugh. And I was like, that's good stuff, you know.
So does everybody sit in the corner for their wives?
Hey, I turn back sometimes, but the only reason that I didn't put Gavin out front is because last time I seen him turn back,
What horse did he have?
no, he had
Morty.
He had Morty, but Sean had him so this Gavin, he was turning back so good at the beginning of the week. He was. And Monroe, he was good. He like Lloyd Cox up there. By the end of it,
Hold up.
I don't know what he was like, but he was dropping reins. His horse was jumping. This horse needed to be injected. This kid wasn't messing up, but Sean kept giving these stares. And when Sean gives you a stare, you just get nervous, okay?
Shake.
So I just put him in the corner. Me and Kay turned back, but it wasn't a great idea, okay? It's better to be in the corner. It sure is, you know. But yeah, yeah.
Oh,
You know, I think also it's like it's kind of easy though, like because like if McCall gets mad at me, it's not like she has somebody on hand that can do a better job than I can. So it's like
Yeah.
she's got a way out.
So yeah. Another thing I'll say about probably all of our wives, because we're all, you know, I wouldn't say like I'm probably the most even tempered out of all of y'all. No, I'm just kidding. No, but you know,
practice spitting tomorrow morning.
I won't be working much like 2-year-old, so I wouldn't do that. No, I'm just kidding. But if you know, like I used to get pretty mad when I didn't do good, and just like we're talking about, just as good at losing as winning. Like it's just as important how good you are at losing. And my wife always kind of reminded me, and I feel like I've got a lot better. But if I threw a fit, slapped my leg, slapped the reins threw my chaps at the router rack, which we've all done it. It's a competitive spirit, but I'm glad I had her to be like, hey, that don't look good. You know, that's stupid. And she said it a lot meaner than that. Yeah,
that talk.
you know, and we don't mean it bad, but we're competitive, right? Like, but it does. You see somebody else doing, you're like, what is that dummy doing? But then you go watch back a video and you slapped your leg and you're like, I'm that dummy.
Mhm.
And that's what my wife, you know, I'm very grateful that she has instilled in me, really. Like, I didn't want to hear it at the time, like Chet was saying, but if it wasn't for her, I'd probably still be a little brat, really. So
Yeah.
she made me grow up. Like,
Shout out Jency.
yeah,
Thank you.
you know, I see you
Thank
slap
you,
your legs
Jensen.
at Cattleman's.
Yeah, and I got a talking to.
Got the word, you know.
I think we've all probably got it, but I'm glad we do because, at some point,
Get it.
yeah, okay.
Get
All
that
right.
out.
I seen that, just like don't buy
Yeah, you
young
do.
moolah. Man, how many fraternity finalists have you passed on? Playful Smooth Talk
Smooth talker.
and Rock My Gray
And
and Young Moolah. Who else?
yeah, sell me young moolah.
Can I get it?
In the ghetto, you passed on.
Why?
Yeah,
It's
but what,
okay,
what
though.
about
It's
that one
okay.
he got though?
You didn't. Hey, and
The
Oh,
one I
yeah,
had
the
last
last
year?
cat.
you didn't even enter the one that could have made it.
Yeah.
You're like, nah, let's
He
not do
didn't
that.
even one he could have made last year.
That was my fault last year. I gave Gavin an opportunity. He said he was an amateur court, so we took him at what he was.
Hey, y'all got any more amateur
He
horses
was
this
a pretty
year?
good amateur horse.
And when he got to
Come shop.
Chet was calling, wanting to fight him, and I knew he must have looked good that day.
Well, when Gavin came to the house, man, he worked this some bitch, and I just watched. I'm like, damn, that's a good horse. And we kept going, and we went down to Geneva, and he worked him like he was going to show him. And this sucker did turn it loose.
That's because he figured out
And that-
if I was going to pull on him.
And that's when I called you and was like, hey.
Hey, you want to sell that horse? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. This is Uncle Tony's course.
Well,
Call him.
how about that, Gavin? How's training horses for family? You think it's tougher than these boys having to train horses?
I don't
for the
know.
public?
I never trained horse for the public. This actually is my first year ever training horse for the public. I took a horse for Austin and a 2-year-old, so I don't know what it's like. I don't. Like you're with your family, all the holidays. You live around like on the ranch. Everybody lives there, man. So I don't know, man. Like I don't know if it's tougher or if it's easier, or if, you want to do just such a good job for them all the time. They're your family. You know what I mean? Like, and you don't want to feel like you're the guy who's not getting it done.
Yeah.
So you're going to work more. I feel like because everybody's around, you're going to grind it, so I don't know. I don't know what it'd be like riding for the public.
I think I think the goal is to train.
What you say?
The goal is to train a good horse. So
Yeah.
I think I'd try just as hard.
Just as hard.
on any horse. Like I try just as hard on any horse
Yeah.
as one of your horses. Like I
Yeah.
always put in a ton of effort into both.
Yeah.
Um,
I guess you're right. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. I guess it just goes back to the horse. You know what I mean? Like if the horse isn't very good, like I can communicate with Mr. Joel and be like, hey, maybe we need to do some different things, or, maybe tell my wife or but another thing I will say that I do like about them all being within the family is like Blakely can work them.
Yeah.
Malin can work them. Mr. Joel, he can work them, or see where it'll fit.
bag it up.
Yeah, bag them up. Bear's coming out tomorrow.
How long has it been?
4 or 5 years.
Been a long time since I've seen.
Yes, he'll be showing on the 22nd.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Oh, yeah, I guess, Cade, you kind of work for Austin.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle
Yeah.
of everybody.
I guess Colt's kind of a little different in that aspect. I imagine that has its benefits and disadvantages there too.
You know what? I'm really lucky. I think. You deal with different personalities. The horses I think are the easiest part. I really do. But I'm lucky to have some pretty awesome customers that I've had for a long time, and some new ones. And I think I'm spoiled when it comes to the customers. They're pretty good to me. There's a couple, and they're probably not with me anymore.
Name 'em.
But,
They're looking for other trainers.
they're looking for other trainers because the thing what I came to a conclusion of is like training for the public is you want good vibes in your barn. You want to wake up and you want to, the horses I love, even if it's an average horse or whatever, like I love the challenge of making that horse as good as I can that day, or training that horse. Like I love the challenge of any of that, whether it's a good horse, okay horse, or whatever. I love the challenge. But the customer part is you got to have as much confidence in them as they have in you. I'm pretty lucky that I feel like all my customers, even the ones that are opinionated, they have confidence in the program. They trust me, and I'm pretty blessed being a 25-year-old trainer out on my own that my customers do that, and they do give me the freedom just to make the call. I think I'm very spoiled because I hear a lot of stories, and I've grown up around it my whole life. My dad, and I've seen the bad and the good, and like I said, I've only had one or two that weren't very good, and this is probably controversial, but they're not there no more, and the good ones stick there, and they're very good, and they have the confidence in me, so I'm pretty blessed. So I don't know if I can speak for a lot of trainers, you know.
Yeah. I'm just going to point out Kevin Amy Smith, C4. I mean, what great people that you work for now. I mean,
Yeah.
First class.
They are. Yeah. I'm very blessed to have such great bosses. I am. They whatever I say, they're always, yep, sounds good. And like it's been the easiest thing easiest people to get along with. And, they're kind to everyone. They treat everyone like family, like they're just very good hearted and kind people. And I think, and that's what makes it so easy to where I think honesty is an important thing. So I think like I'm very comfortable going up and telling them, I don't like this horse. Like I don't think it's worth it, and I think that goes a long way. Same thing with you. I'm very comfortable telling you, I don't like this horse. Like I'm just not into it. So I think as long as you keep that standard, I think there's no difference in training for the public or your family as long as you're just straight up and very forward and honest about it.
Honesty's key in everything.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I've had a customer tell me I was a little strong, and I was like, but it's honest. And that's what you asked me to be with you, is honest, and there it is, so I think a lot of customers appreciate that too. I mean, we appreciate it, so why wouldn't they? They don't
What,
want
y'all want our opinion too?
To a certain extent.
to.
I'm kidding.
No, I'm just kidding.
I did not read the rules on that when we started. Did not know I could offer up my opinion.
No.
So, Cade, tell us a little bit about your deal. And I know your dad's probably had client base for years. And
Yeah. I'm pretty lucky. I work for my dad. I'm still his assistant trainer, and it works really well. It's all I've ever known since I've been in the open, and it's awesome. I mean, we work together every single day, go to the barn every day. I mean, Chet used to work there. He knows exactly how we do things, and it just works good for us.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say it worked for everybody, but it works for us. And it's really easy for me because he's had so many of these customers that have been with him for so long that have given me the opportunity to show some horses, like the Standishes, let me show Countess Katrina. I mean, he made the futurity finals on that mare. And then when she got a little bit older and I turned my card in, they let me start showing a regular open. And there's no reason they should do that. And people like Billy Wolf and Carter Dowd that owned my horse this year. I mean, Carter's like family. He's building me in Cameron's house right now. And Billy, I mean, he just has the best horses money can buy. And he'll say, this one's for you right here. You train it. And then he'll have this one for dad. And it's all about horsepower and horse sales and stuff. And there's so many good horse trainers and showmen that it really comes down to horsepower. And because there's so many people that are good. And I mean, it just comes down to when you get in the finals anywhere, the best horse is usually up there.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, to have those customers that trust you, and like Cole said, I mean, I just turned 24, to trust you with a horse that could cost $500,000, it means a lot. And if you didn't have that horse, then you wouldn't be competitive.
Right.
So it's really cool that they trust us with all that.
That brings up another point that I kind of wanted to ask you guys about. Being the younger generation of horse trainers, I'm sure everybody's heard it, but you listen to some of these older guys, and they always talk about the shorty and the buster, and how some of them wouldn't tell you you'd have to watch them and figure out what they were doing. Do you feel like you guys or just the younger horse trainers as a whole have some benefit of technology, whether it be, you know, your online videos, or do you feel like it's a little bit easier to get information, or do you feel like these middle-aged horse trainers just will share more with you than what they say they'll? And have you guys heard what I'm getting at here? I mean, the old guys say, "Oh, they wouldn't tell us nothing," or they might tell us one thing and it really be something different. But
I
y'all's opinion on that?
I feel like yeah, like that's probably a thing. Like the cutting horse training online, that's cool. I probably watched a little bit of it, but like growing up around it's helped us too. And I bet Chet has more to say about like the cutting horse training online. Like I watched that and it was interesting, but like we're lucky enough, you know, a lot of us to. And yes, they're probably more forthcoming. Yeah, we knew them. Like it's more forthcoming. Like there forever, I was scared to go ask Sean. I mean, I like this was until
Now you call him and tell him.
well, Gavin does, but I may yeah. But to me, Sean's one of
Nice
the
guy.
most. Yeah, you know, like he's scary, really, but like he's a really awesome horse trainer.
Yeah.
But I was so scared for a long time. But as soon as I asked him, he always he always is very forthcoming, and he helps me, and it just everybody just like they're very forthcoming with it as long as you're not afraid to ask is what I was trying to get at. Like these guys, like the other day I get done working my priority for the first round, and I'm pretty nervous about this one horse that I'm showing, and I call Cade when I'm leaving the practice pen. What do you think? He's like, well, I know you're freaking out, basically, but chill out. And like it's good to have that. And then Mr. Austin's like, that's good. That's good when I'm working. He don't usually say much, but he's seen me fight in my head a little bit probably, and you know, like which I grew up around him, and he, you know, but he would do that for about anybody, you know, like the guys nowadays when they see you struggling, they step in, and that's pretty cool. I don't know, I can't speak for how it used to be. I don't know how the younger generation before them people were, and they just thought that way, you know. But I think this generation is a little more open to suggestions, probably. You know, one time I was at Lloyd Cox's house. I spent a lot of time there actually when I was going to college. For the whatever.
How long did your college career last?
Probably like a couple hours, really. But I was chasing Jinsey, really, and but I spent a lot of time at Lloyd's house, and there's another trainer there. I won't say who, but they're on their phone, right? And they're whatever. And Lloyd's like, "Hey, Colt, why don't you work this 3-year-old?" And I forgot what 3-year-old was, but it was one of the ones, really good ones. And he kind of gave me like a lesson. But I'm sitting there going, I'm just a dumb kid, you know? And he's like, yeah. And then he gave me a lesson. I asked Cass. That's when Cass Tatum's still working there. I was like, why do you let me, you know, do that? He's like, well, you aren't on your phone. Lloyd, he ain't going to say much, but he knows when somebody's watching. So, like, I think that's another thing. And Lloyd's older. Sorry, Lloyd. But he is. And I think maybe if you just paid attention, and you gave all your, you know, attention to that, I think the older generation probably were very forthcoming. But Lloyd has few words, but when he says it, if you actually listen, they're very big, crucial words that have probably changed my career in the long run.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like last year being in South Carolina and stuff, and I didn't go to near as many shows as I did this year. So I think being at home, you can ask McCall, I'd have my videos up on the TV. Like I watched pretty much, I'd have your video cameras, and I would watch my whole day. I would take notes on it. I would make a note about every single horse, and then I would
Wesley.
And then I would go and I would watch cutting horse training online. Like I would watch Johnny Mitchell's videos. Like I watched it a lot. I can't even tell you how many times I've watched the same video. I think it's huge to having that technology. I think it's helped a lot of people. I'm not embarrassed to say I've watched the hell out of some cutting horse training online. I've studied it. probably watch damn near every video on there. Like, I think you get yourself in a bind doing
Yeah.
that. Like, don't try everything you see.
Just 'cause it works for
Before I
them.
went to work for a horse trainer, I had some confusion. I was confused. The horse was confused. I
Yeah.
watched every video. I bet I watched Taryn and Ronnie Rice work outside it when they was over at the Center Ranch. I guarantee I watched that video 15 times.
Pretty awesome video.
Every day. In this big old outdoor, and him and Taryn are just ripping it. I'm like, this is awesome. And I had a normal job, and it was terrible. But, man, I think technology goes a long way, man. Like I said, man, if it wasn't for, I didn't know what I was doing anyways, but like, if it wasn't for that cutting horse training, kind of like, to me, I see both sides of it. I've been on both sides of it. This was the hardest industry to ever get into for me. The cutting horse industry. Man, I sent out emails and letters and wanted to ride horses with somebody, and took forever. Just because I just think when I tried to get in, I guess it was about 10 years ago, I was just trying to get a job, but I think I didn't realize what I realize now on why people being so picky, because they needed somebody to know what they're doing. And if you didn't grow up in it, like Chet Simoneaux, I can't even pronounce my last name. Yeah, from Louisiana. I'll never forget. I've talked to a few trainers that probably don't even remember who I am, that I'm showing against now, that wouldn't hire me. I'm not gonna say any names, but like, I sent them emails and talked to them on the phone, trying to, and they like, "Mom, man, I can't use you," But I went to a clinic. Austin didn't know who I was, and I was like, I took off work. I used to work for my dad. I went to college, worked for my dad. And the cutting horse training online and all those videos, man, I'd buy the Boyd Rice DVDs. And I'm like, those guys are, it's awesome. Best time of the year is still my favorite time of the year is now. Sell horses, watch every video. Richard Jordan back even 10, 12 years ago, it
This is
just,
my choice.
yeah. That gray mare, those horses, and man, I used to study them, and I think the technology thing could help anybody who really wants to learn, and open it up. Like, I went to Austin's clinic. I always looked up to Austin, and went to his clinic one day, and I'll never forget. I hot quit, and he was sitting on this gray horse, sitting back in the corner, and like, if I'd have known him, I know him, but I didn't know him at all. I'm just like some little Cajun kid who just got out of college, wanted to ride show some cutting horses, And it was at Lamar Dixon. He was sitting on his big gray horse, and this cow was just eating on me. And I've been working this mare forever, Like, I'm like, man, I don't want to ruin my mare on some clinic, So I quit. Well, it got me another one. I walked out. I just kind of stood there, and Austin goes, he had his little microphone. He goes, pretty good, besides that hot quit. So he cut all 3 cows in the middle of the arena. Mare was pretty good, but you hot quit in the corner over there. He's like, other than that, pretty good. And then a year later, a friend of mine, Corey Trammell, called me. He's like, hey, I need a loper. Got you a job. Says he remembers you from that clinic. And that clinic was a year ago. I said, all right. So I said, do you think he'd mind if I go on a visit? He said, no, just call him. So me and my dad jumped in the pickup truck, went over there and checked it out.
I remember it.
He had a real cow sitting.
One of the first ones.
One of the very first real cows.
Mhm.
Yep,
It was
the brown
big.
one.
Yeah.
It was sitting out in front of the barn. They just got done working. And me and my dad walked around, and man, like, I was working on the pipeline. I was an abatement contractor, like,
That's swole then too.
swoller.
I used to worry about that swole thing.
You like his muscles.
Like,
Right?
just touch him, squeeze him.
Me and my brother, we used to work out every
Don't bite
morning.
him. Don't bite him.
But anyways,
Don't bite him.
so yeah. And then I just left. I went to work for Austin. Rest is history.
How long did you work there?
3 years. Yep, that was good. Probably should have stayed a lot longer. If I know what I know now, I would have.
Yeah.
If I know what I know now, I would have stayed. But you know what? When I went to James was great to me too, man. Like, they're both, feel like they're both different and 2 different styles. But like Austin, like, he probably won't remember this, but like, first 3 months, I don't think he said anything to me. So I was like, I got to figure out a way to get in, to get some knowledge, So I'd ask him one question a day, and he'd give me about 10 answers. So that's kind of how it started. And then when I went to James, man, he was just every day, he was just
Grinding on you.
teaching, coaching.
That's good.
And I really didn't want to leave, but then COVID hit. I really wanted to do a solid year there. And then James gave me an opportunity to show, and so did Austin. I mean, like, first time I ever won, Reggie, what was Reggie's name?
Captain Dooley.
Captain Dooley.
Carter owned
Mr.
him.
Carter Dow. He let me show. I used to get every one of Mr. Carter's horses ready. And then one day Austin said, hey, you start working that horse, Mr. Carter, why don't you show it? Showed it at the Southern in the Limited when Rodrigo was still showing the Limited.
Got him. He was bad boy. He still.
Yeah, I was like, dang, Rodrigo's showing the Limited too,
Wow.
Man, but to go back to the question was like the technology helped me so much, to step outside of us cutting horse trainers. Like, yeah, it's cool now, man. Like, I can go up to anybody and shoot the shit and get positive feedback, but like those first guys that kind of like were there for me. I mean, like, Cade, man, I can call these guys, whatever. But I think the technology, the cutting horse training, all the videos, man, it helped me a ton just to kind of at least stay between the cow and the herd. I mean, I think when I first started showing, I marked 69 for like 6 months straight. Nothing over 70. Kept watching the videos, Hell no. Man, I used to watch some 2-year-old sell videos, nothing, but took a chance.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, man, it's year after year. Y'all show up with some.
I don't jinx it. Man, Mr. Joel breeds some really good horses, and he got some of the best, we ride a bunch, he breeds a bunch, but but he's over the years, but he's been in it. He's been in it for the long run, Like, he done it. A lot of those mares are based off of Cade and Austin's, his daddy's horses, a bunch of them. I bet 75% of them. All the mares his dad's trained and they picked out. That's where I met my wife down there, and I don't know, just kind of a big circle, I guess. You never know where you're going to end up until you try. Like, I've never known I'd have been friends with all these guys, I grew up in a whole different world, a whole different thing. I always rode horses, but it was a whole different being. It wasn't this lifestyle. And I know a lot of guys told me I was crazy as hell. I left making $75,000 to $100,000 a year to go make $400 a week to work all day long. Look, I don't disagree with him. Like, he's been in the game for so long, and some people just roll in and ain't dedicated. So why would you waste your time on somebody? If you're gonna go work for somebody, you need to prove to them that, hey, you're gonna be here. You want to work, be on time every day.
Yeah, really good point. I was there,
and I didn't get it. I didn't get it till I left. I didn't get a lot of things until I went out on my own and struggled, man. Even when I went out on my own, the first few years, man, I didn't make no money. It's like, damn, can I buy a new truck? What can we do here? You know what I mean? But you don't realize, and I didn't realize why things happen. But like I say, like when I went to Austin, he's been doing this for 30-something years. There's people roll in and out that, he's always there to help, hands down. But you've got to be able to motivate yourself, get up every day and go through the grind to get to where them guys been. They've been in the grind for the whole time. So, like, they're just not going to just be like, all right, I'm going to teach you everything I know in 3 months. You know what I mean? It just don't work like that.
I remember Austin one time we're sitting there watching cows at West Monroe. He goes, there's like 10 trainers. You know how they all sit on that wall over there? He goes, and they're like Lloyd, Matt Miller, he's like, look at all them. They all work really hard. They all want a lot of money. This one I wanted to be a trainer, right? He's like, what's going to set you apart? He said, that's what you got to think about.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, because we all work hard. We all do that. He said, what's going to set you apart from them? He said, you got to try to outwork them. Probably not. You don't know if you are. You don't know. You can't think about that. He said, just know it. Everybody's working hard. So you need to work just as hard, if not harder. And push yourself. Push yourself as hard as you can push yourself. And he said, I guarantee you, if you do that, you will be successful in this industry. And that's just I've just always remember that, lived by that. Like,
you got to.
You got to.
You know what? I know James Payne out there grinding.
Probably right now.
Yeah,
Time.
probably.
Working this real cow.
He just
Yeah,
texts me.
7:30,
He
he's
just
probably working
texts
every
me
day.
that he's at the gym.
He ain't at no gym. He's at Whataburger drinking a
He did come
Mountain
in. Did
Dew.
anybody see the Whataburger
Yes.
zip up the
Yes.
other day? I can't wait for the amateur and he brings out the Richard Petty hat. He got me at the Southern. Evan's blocking with him at 4 every morning. They were sharing block, whatever. I get up, I get on the use lunch. I did like 3 mornings in a row. Fourth morning, I was tired. So Kevin Smith went and took my spot. Passed him in the parking lot about lunchtime. He was like, "Where were you at this morning?" And I was like, "Well, we only got one using horse. I didn't really want to go watch, you know." And he was like, "You don't want to win?" Buddy, I was there the next morning.
Yeah, no, it's true. I
It's
mean,
well, true.
you know, and like, yeah, like just if you work hard enough, basically the best advice that the older generation has ever gave me is pay attention and work hard. You know?
Another thing, I think you can learn more by just watching
Yes, sir.
than them sitting there telling you. And I didn't know how much I learned at Austin's and James's until I left. And then when I went back, I was like, now I got to process all this shit on my own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's different. I remember Russ, he was like turning back all the time for me. And then at Adon's like a mad scientist. You know what I mean? Especially explaining stuff, right? Like, because he's a freak of nature. He really is. That guy is a freak of nature. He can get on any horse, I feel like, and do some thing, and it's going to get better. Like, he has so many tricks and whatever. And, like, I remember one time, and this is a story. I worked some horses, and we showed them at Silverado, and they weren't very good. Okay. This is, I had won 300-something thousand this year. Like, it was a good year for me. Like, I probably feeling myself a little bit, and we went to Silverado. These horses weren't good. We went home that night and flagged. He sat there and dissected everything I did wrong, right? And he ran the flag remote. He did it all. And I was just like, in front of everybody. And it, like, I don't realize how special that moment was. At that point, I'm thinking, man, this guy's really being a prick. But it's because he cared. You know what I mean? Like, who does that? It's 10 o'clock at night after a cut-in that we've been up since 5 o'clock to get to, and he took the time out because he cared about his program, sure, but about me too, because he could have just fixed it. He's good enough just to fix it, right? But it was one of them things that you're grateful for in the long run that you didn't realize. Just like Big A not talk to you, I want to make sure you're dedicated. Like, the times that we think, oh shit, when we're working for him, that's ain't cool. Then when you leave, you're like, oh man, remember that one night on the flag when Adon taught me this, when we went back and worked these horses, and he's like letting me work this amazing horse that he shows, you know, and he just is telling me this, run it. Why'd you pull right there? Well, I don't know. There's no reason to pull right there, you know, or why'd you not do this? And it's just like, you remember stuff, especially when you get on your own, you fall on your face a couple times, you know? And it's just, and you're going to fall on your face a lot. Like, I had an awesome year, but I went through some stuff, you know, but we're blessed enough to go back to that stuff that James taught us, that Austin taught us, that Mr. Sam taught us, or Paul, you know. That foundation, that words of wisdom, you know. Paul became member for the Super Stakes. He came and me and Gavin had I'd call them ass chewings, really. And I had a pretty bad cattleman's. I don't think I won $1 at the cattleman's. And it was pretty bad. Like, I kept marking 13s, and they'd make it to the second cut. I'm like, damn, can't you just mark me a 12 and just go home? You know what I mean? Like, I ain't coming back from this. Like, on these horses, you know. And it was a tough time. My best couple horses, you know, were battling some stuff, and I just went there. And Paul, he came there, and I'm working these horses. I'm trying to fix some stuff and trying to do this, and he's like, put your hand down. Hold a cow. And it feels, what are you doing? What are you doing? You want the cattlemen's to happen again at the Super Stakes? I'm like, wow, that is really rough. Yeah, you know, and he kept saying it. You want what happened again? These horses aren't as good. You're going to have to do better than people. You're going to have to cut your cow. And I, like, at the time, I'm looking at Gavin like, why is he here? He's being very mean to me. But then like these horses that I didn't do good, could have marked over 13 in at the Cattlemen's, all of them make the semifinals at the Super Stakes. Like, them are the times like that we're grateful for. You know what I mean? That Paul Hans, one of the greatest of all times. Like, what are you doing? You want to suck again? And then you're just like, no, sir. And there's times these horses felt like they were gonna run off, and the next day I came out and they're like crawling on their belly, and I'm like, holy moly, this guy knows what he's talking about. But just stuff like that, like that's stuff that you can't put a price on.
Yeah.
I mean, people, how much would you have paid for something like that at that still to this day? You know,
Well,
like,
it's funny you say it. You know, I had to come out here early. You know, the whole year, like I said earlier, planning. Me and Cade been talking about it all year. You know, me, Gavin, him, we're gonna, work down at Big A's, come down. You know, I had a few dual races. I felt like I had some nice horses, and I didn't want to do bad. You know, I wanted to get some coaching, be around some really good people and really good hands, and get some horses worked. And then, boom, we're out here. So then I start scrounging around for pre-works. Had pre-works lined up that we go to every year. I missed every one of those. Luckily, we have some really good friends out here. I mean, like, Russ called me, invited me to his, and I brought some. Didn't know who was going to be there or whatever. Usually when you go to pre-work, you kind of know your buddy's going to be there. And man, everybody was great. Went to Russ's, went up to Whitesboro. Mr. Johnny Mitchell invited me to his. Sean helped me out with that, So it was good. But going back to the Paulie thing, Paulie he was a little cold on me on the first day. And then by like my last few horses, I'm like, he's like, what? I'm like, it don't feel great.
it's a free work. It's not a pre-show. It's
Yeah. 95% of these things are going to suck at free work. So the next day, man, like you were saying, next day, I was loving it. He was watching cows. He was helping me. We was bullshitting about the horses, what we can fix. I mean, leave your hand down. Work the cow. Come on. All the cows aren't going to be great. I mean, like today, in the intermediate finals, the cows were a little strong.
The horse handled it, though.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe if I wouldn't have had Paul over there tell me, hey, leave your hand down. Keep working. Keep working that cow. Let him, reach and read and keep working, work the cow, watch the cow. Man, it was awesome. Man, I'd have paid. Ain't no telling what I paid for that shit as a amateur rider to go hang out with Paul. I still ask me if he's doing clinics, So, yeah, man, it was great.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I do want to wrap up, because I feel like a lot of you guys were looked at as up and coming trainers, and I feel like you guys have pretty much graduated from that. You're there. I mean, we're all semifinals bound, and you've done great things. And so my question to you is, who do you guys think is the next up and coming? If you guys had to pick a couple young guys, like who do you think they are? Now, one of them's probably sitting in the room with us right now.
I'm going to say Cooper Clark.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Cooper Clark.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of speaks for himself. I'd say Brock Schwarzkopf that works for Sean. I've been watching him, and he does a great job. And just to go back real quick to what you said a minute ago about the videos and stuff, I think I watched my fair share of videos, and I've been lucky enough to work for my dad. But I think the best thing anybody can do is go work for somebody. Because every conversation we just had was working for a Don, was working for Cullen, was working for Austin. And I think that's where you're going to learn the most. And I'm not going to sit here and pump Chet up, but Chet's the only guy off the top of my head, and I would say Dad would agree, that was never late when he worked for Dad. If we started at 5 a.m, Chet would go to the house, or Chet would go eat breakfast at 4 o'clock at Waffle House. And he did it every morning because he wanted to eat breakfast, but he was going to be at work.
Protein.
And that's why he is. You gotta go work for somebody.
Yeah.
To me,
Yeah.
you can learn a lot on the video, but not doing it.
I don't want to cut you off, but go find somebody you like. Go somebody that you like. Damn, their horse is cool. When I left Austin, when I did, and he asked me, well, where you want to go? I said Paul Hansma. I said James Payne. And I got to go to one of them, and I just thought their styles were cool and unique. And like like just stay there a while, man. The grass ain't always green on the other side, man.
There's not, to me, there's not many trainers or any trainer out there today that you can't go back and say they work for somebody that they learn from. I mean, Paul worked for Bill Riddle for 5 years,
Mhm.
and now he's
For Matt
Paul
Gaines.
Hansma,
Yeah.
and everybody. Yeah,
Huh? I don't work for Clint.
I mean, all kinds of stuff. Clint worked for Matt Gaines for. Yeah, I mean,
Morgan Crumb worked
everybody's
for us for 10 years.
Yeah, everybody
I
that's
mean,
doing good now.
James was at Dick's for 10,
Wow.
Everybody
10
that's
years.
doing good worked for somebody.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Cooper works for a Don. I mean, you gotta put in the work.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the same thing. I don't train horses, of course, but like the construction business, I always said that I wanted my kids to go to work for somebody else.
Yeah, I
You know,
agree.
go try it, go learn something, because sure, your dad can tell you something 40
Mhm.
times, and you might show him and tell you once, and you got it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so I think that's a great thing with anything.
I think there's a lot, like, I've seen a lot of young guys. I've seen a lot of new faces lately too, and that's cool, and
Yeah, this is one kid showed up with 2 really nice horses.
Jasper
Jasper.
Patrick,
Jasper Pat.
Yeah.
he came and worked at the house a little
Yeah.
bit this year, and he's
I mean, they're
hungry for
trained out.
knowledge.
I saw him working in the practice pen at Blue Ridge one.
Yeah, no, what he's just good. Like, he's talented, he's good, he's hungry for knowledge. Like people like that, like which we're not old enough one day, but I do feel like, especially this year, I've had like people come up to me, or just like us, like we're friends, like we talk, whatever, but just people I don't even know. I say kids are my age and maybe older than me, but it's cool. Like, I hope one day we can do that for the next generation, and what, the Lloyds, the Austins, the Dons, have done for us. I hope one day we can do that for everybody else. Like, it's one thing I hope that we can help grow the industry, help the industry. It's getting tougher and tougher every year, in my opinion, and I just hope it keeps getting tougher. I do. And I don't know how it's possible, because it seems really tough right now, but they probably said that 5-6 years ago. And, I think the next, hopefully it just keeps growing because of, the knowledge, the mistakes that people been through, that they're kind enough to share with us. And hopefully we'll probably have mistakes too, and we can share them with people, and it just keeps getting better.